Hello YouTube, here we are again. I'm doing another video. I wanted to do a video showcasing my MCU collection, which is these three shelves right here. I kind of have them set up as a timeline where Phase 1 starts off at the top corner and it goes all the way down to Endgame and beyond. So starting up here, I just want to start off by saying that I absolutely adore the Phase 1 era. It's a time that I always kind of wish that I can kind of go back in time and re-experience all over again. Just to be in that hype to see the very first Avengers movie and seeing them come together for the very first time. So I love the Phase 1 of the MCU. And starting off here, we have the Captain America First Avenger line. We have several of the Hydra soldiers in the back, led by the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Red Skull. And those are actually first order Star Wars figures back there. But they can pass for, some sort of Third Reich or Nazi goons. I was thinking of putting swastikas on them even, but I didn't know how I felt about having swastikas on my display. But anyway, I do love the First Avenger. Very good movie. Very great soundtrack too. Moving on, we have Iron Man 1. Another one of my favorites. This is, of course, where it all started. And we have Ironmonger back there. Nick Fury. The Mark III, which is, I might say, might be Tony Stark's most powerful armor. Not really, of course, but this was a very strong armor, taking hits from tanks and airplanes, and, I just haven't seen that level of, strength in a lot of the armors that Tony Stark has nowadays. But Iron Man 1, very, very good movie. Here we have my Thor display. And I absolutely love the very first Thor movie. I think it was done very, very well. The soundtrack by Patrick Doyle was incredible. Loved everything from, Chris Hemsworth's delivery of Thor to Tom Hiddleston as Loki and everything beyond. And I would love to see a MCU Anthony Hopkins Odin, as well as a golden armored Heimdall. I'd very much love to see that. The Warriors 3 as well. We have Thor with his back facing you. It's supposed to be that very first scene of, when you first see him getting inaugurated as a king. That's supposed to be sort of a Jane Foster back there. It's just a Padme figure, Natalie Portman, Just kind of a placeholder. Also have a 3 3/4 inch collection of the very first Thor movie. Love, love, love this movie. Except this Thor is from the Avengers line. The Thor that came out for this very first movie wasn't that great. So, yeah. Give us some Marvel Legends, Heimdall. Moving on to Iron Man 2. And I really like Iron Man 2. I know a lot of people had their complaints with it, and I can understand why, but I really love Iron Man 2. It's one of those movies that I love putting on, while doing something around the house, and, I think it's really, really good. There's the Mark IV with the very outdated Tony Stark head sculpt. Got the Mark V. Wish we can get a Whiplash figure, both of him in his giant armor that he wore at the final battle, and then, of course, in the armor that he wore during the racetrack scene. And I love the Mark VI. The Mark VI is actually one of my favorite Iron Man armors. It's, just a very classic armor, and, it just takes me back to that Phase 1 era. Every figure here does, but I really like the Mark VI. And then, moving forward, we go on to my favorite movie of all time, which is the very first Avengers movie. Here we go. Really like the way this display is finally coming out. See Nick Fury back there. Shield. This Hulk is the smart Build-A-Figure Hulk with the Age of Ultron head sculpt. Slight difference in the color of the green, but it fits in pretty well. And then this here is basically 3 figures it took to make this Captain America. This is a 2012 body. that came out in the original Walmart wave with the new Endgame head sculpt that they re-released, and then this is one of the newer shields that was released at a later time. So yeah, basically three different figures to make up that one Captain America. Mark 7, another one of my favorite armors. And then this Thor is sporting the very first armor he wore in his first movie. I'd very much love to see a updated Thor in his Avengers armor. It's ever so slightly different from the one that he's wearing here, which is the first movie armor. But I'd very much love to see an updated armor, and that'll pretty much render my Avengers display here complete. At least to as much as I would like it, but yeah, so Avengers 1. And then we're moving on to Phase 2. Have Thor the Dark World. And I love Thor the Dark World. I really thought this was a good movie. And it baffles me because I remember when the movie first came out, I liked it a lot. My friends liked it a lot, and everybody I would talk to seemed to really like it. And I'd watch a lot of YouTuber reviewers and whatnot, and they seemed to like it very well too. And I don't know what happened. It just seems, like all the newer movies started coming out, and obviously those are much bigger movies and much better production, and it just seemed like we turned around and just started trashing the older movies, the ones that weren't incredible, like maybe Thor the Dark World. And I mean, because people are now saying that Thor the Dark World is probably the worst movie in the MCU, which I would highly disagree with. I really like Thor the Dark World. I understand it might not be the best, but I liked it a lot. Kind of hard to see, but back there I kind of have I forget her name, but that's Wonder Woman's mother, and I kind of have her standing in as a Frigga figure. I think she passes, sort of. Iron Man 3 back there. Pretty cool. We got Falcon. He's just hanging on by some tape. Please excuse that. And we have the Winter Soldier. Now, the Winter Soldier, on the other hand, that was a fantastic movie. An absolute masterpiece. I really, really loved the Winter Soldier. I know a lot of people did as well. But this was definitely one of the best movies that, the MCU was able to produce. Not a surprise at all that the directors, the Russo brothers, ended up going on to direct a lot of the other movies that came out. Moving on to the second shelf, we are continuing Phase 2 with Guardians of the Galaxy. Hope the lighting, there we go. The lighting captures everything pretty well. So yeah, another really good movie. Kind of came out of nowhere too. That's a stand-in for Thanos. We don't have a Thanos in the armor he was wearing during this time, so I just kind of have him standing in there. Moving on to another one of my favorites, Age of Ultron. I love Avengers Age of Ultron. It's basically the Avengers in their prime, because in Infinity War and in Endgame, obviously we got kind of a broken down version of the Avengers. The characters had, all gone their own ways. They'd been torn, they'd been broken. And in Avengers 1, of course, that was them coming together for the first time. But in Age of Ultron, it's the one and only Avengers movie we got that, of course, is featuring the Avengers in their prime as a fully functioning team with their Avengers logo on their suits and everything. So, and, it's just a very, very, how can I say, a very pure Avengers movie. It just gives you everything you want, and I really loved it. So, Avengers 2, Age of Ultron is great. Ultron was a very, very menacing villain too. Just look at that face. And it's just the same. It seems like Ultron has been forgotten. But Ultron was an incredible villain. And I have 4 of these Ultron figures back there as an army builder. I have about 20 of them in total, but just 4 for this display. Moving forward, we have Phase 3 beginning, starting with Ant-Man. Yellow Jacket, which I think is a great figure, very underrated. Let's go ahead and scroll a little bit slower. Doctor Strange. This is the newer Doctor Strange, but it's featuring the Time Stone, so I thought it was a little more appropriate for this movie, since it uses it more in this film. And back here, excuse my shadow, I have the Netflix series figures. I'm still missing Iron Fist. haven't quite, you know, committed to purchasing him yet. Moving on, one of my favorite displays in my collection is the Civil War display. I think this displays beautifully. These figures are incredible, and displaying them like this, I think just looks so well. Just looks really, really cool. So, looking all the way back there, that's Team Iron Man against Team Cap. Excuse me. That's the newer release of Giant Man. He has a brighter helmet. It's a little more accurate to the Civil War film. That face off. Right here. Everybody remember when the second Captain America Civil War trailer dropped? And we got to see this for the very first time? Yeah, it's like the internet basically broke during that time. Anyway, we have Thor Ragnarok. Another great film. It took a little bit of getting used to for me as far as, you know, Thor being kind of a quippy and funny, even kind of a scaredy cat character that he was in Thor Ragnarok. I prefer a very strong, stoic, you know, get the job done type of Thor that we had gotten before. So the transition for the new quippy Thor was kind of a big pill for me to swallow. I didn't mind the hammer being destroyed and the short hair and all that. I thought it actually fit the story pretty well. And then, of course, you know, him being quippy and all that wasn't bad. It was just a lot for me to get used to. Especially because he's my favorite character. And yeah, moving on. On to the third shelf. Oh boy. Here we go. We are continuing Phase 3, this is. Yep. Guardians 2. We got a little baby Groot. Very good movie. SpiderMan Homecoming. I do happen to be missing the Vulture's wing on his right side. I really like the new movies that are coming out for Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland is probably the best Spider-Man that we've had, the best Peter Parker that we've had as well. And I love the movies. They're very, very cool. And the only thing that I wasn't feeling about the new movies is that they made Peter Parker, Spider-Man, sort of like a child figure to Tony Stark. Didn't much care for that, as well as giving him a tech suit with the AI. I don't much care for that. I very much like Spider-Man, you know, being his own guy and his own entity. And, of course, not having a Iron Man suit on and just kind of relying on himself, his wit, and his ability to, you know, kick ass and fight crime. So, anyway, moving on. Black Panther. I do consider myself a MCU completionist, but there's still a lot of figures out there I still need. Some of those figures are from this line. Moving on. I don't want to get in the way of the light. This Black Panther figure is fantastic. Amazing figure. And then back there we have the Dora Milaje. Let me get out of the way of the light again. And then it sort of bleeds into my Avengers Infinity War display, which I think Infinity War was a better movie than Endgame. I think Endgame was a greater spectacle, and it was a bigger payoff for, you know, the entire MCU, but I feel like Infinity War was a better story being told, if that makes sense. Ooh, I'm not getting a lot of light up there, but there's another Falcon. This is the Titan Heroes Hulkbuster. It's the only one that I was able to get that has the Infinity War design, because of course it's different from the one that he had in Age of Ultron. Although he towers over Cull Obsidian, which wouldn't be accurate, so maybe we'll get an updated one. Thanos figure. Such an amazing villain. What an amazing build-up. So well done. The figure is so well done as well. And then, of course, we have his Black Order. This is one of the best MCU figures right here, in my opinion. Oh, little Ant-Man. Look out. Speaking of Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ooh, she's facing the wrong way. Way back there, we have a couple of Skrulls, Talos. Captain Marvel is squeezed back there. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm taking this display down. I am taking this display down. I do like to change it up every once in a while, and the reason for it is because I don't like seeing clutter like this. So I'm gonna try to do a new display. And then finally here we have Endgame, which I think was a very, very well made movie. Such an amazing payoff to everything that the MCU led up to become. They got someone of the army back there that the Avengers were able to assemble. My only complaint with Endgame was the Hulk. Not the fact that they went with Smart Hulk, because I actually really like the way they did Smart Hulk. Smart Hulk, I thought, was very well done. It's just that we didn't get Hulk. You know what I mean? We didn't get Hulk smash. We didn't get the Hulk that we all know and love. And I thought that was a little underwhelming. And then my second complaint would be Thor. I didn't think the fat, quippy, Thor was necessary at all. I do think he should have gone through some kind of a post-traumatic experience after Infinity War, but I just don't think that was it. Especially because he's my character, and like I said, I like a strong, stoic Thor, and it just didn't sit right with me. So, but nonetheless, Endgame was still fantastic. Loved it. Thanos was incredible. And then, oh, Captain Marvel is up there too. And then at the very tip, we have Spider-Man Far From Home. And I'm out of room. I don't have any more room for Night Monkey or Molten Man, so that'll just have to do. But anyway, let me go ahead and back up a little bit. That is my MCU display. It only consists of these three shelves here. The original Walmart exclusive wave for the very first Avengers 2012. And then I also picked up this, which I have to put somewhere. And again, thank you guys very much for checking out the video. I guess that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Do feel free to go ahead and, share, like, comment, and subscribe if you will. If anybody wants to see anything in particular, do let me know. I'd be happy to go ahead and do another video. As of course I have time. We are in quarantine, and with that being said, do take care of yourselves, guys. Wash your hands. Be safe out there. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope to see you guys at the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.